guys, and welcome to all the Warships with Voulezvous. Now I do realize that I've just posted an Atlanta video about 2 weeks ago doing 155,000 damage in it, but I've had another one of those kind of games where I think I could not only show you how to be better at the game, but also it's quite a spectacular result. So, well, here we go, another Atlanta game for you guys, and I hope you enjoy. So as you can see from the team list, this is a tier 7 game. Obviously, Atlanta is quite a situational ship, and it heavily depends on what sort of lineup you've got against you. But looking at this team list here, I'm quite confident that we will have quite a lot of fun attacking all those ships. So looking at the enemies, the biggest enemy I can actually see here is the enemy Miyoko, Japanese cruiser, and the Atlanta. The New Mexico may be dangerous if we happen to meet at field range. So the bell rings off and we're off to start, and I'm thinking about my positioning, and I really don't like the fact that I'm spawned around the A-cap area because it is, well, it's got some islands, yes, but it's still quite exposed. What I would really like to do is to find myself around the B-cap with that big island in the middle there for my protection, and the other two to the south of it as a potential jump up point. So that's where I want to move, that's where I'm definitely going, and I want to use the terrain to my advantage. I want to lob shells over the islands on anyone who's gonna come into A and B. So first dilemma, I know I should be getting spotted soon, and I can either go left or right around this island, and going right would be the safe option, and most of the times I would choose that one. Left is, you know, if you get spotted at this point, you are exposed to quite a lot of enemy ships fire, and might be a bit dangerous, but you know, what made me decide to go this way is the Nürnberg being under fire already. So I basically assume that he will be a better target for them simply because he was the one who got spotted first. So once I'm on the course going around this island, I open up on the enemy Nürnberg, and first salvo already hit the target, still no damage, and now I got a nice 4,000 damage hit. 4,000 damage hit, and another 3,500. As you can see, Atlanta can be quite deadly, especially if you attack ships which have not sustained any prior damage before you engage them. And this is a bit of a tip for you. The initial damage, the fire damage, or you know, high explosive damage that Atlanta can do really depends on this. So try to pick targets which look like they have not sustained any HE damage in the past. So the first target, we stopped shelling it. The enemy already managed to get A, which is a bit annoying because we were kind of pushing onto it, but we got B, and it seems like we are on going. Oh well, no, we just stopped capping C. We just lost the destroyer. And that's the moment I noticed that this Atlanta here, and the Atlanta is reversing, should be quite an easy target, even though it's quite far away, and you have to lead quite, you know, significantly. And even the first salvo gives me 7 hits, which is really good. Obviously, Atlanta will change direction now. That was the whole point of it. I basically wanted to make the Atlanta captain understand that he is being targeted. You know, that he should worry more about his position than, you know, shelling my teammates. And same with the Miyoko. Again, this is one of the most dangerous targets for me. I don't want him to be stationary and, you know, be in a good position to attack my teammates. I want to get him going, and that's what I do with my salvos. And switch targets again, York, but I realize that I am exposing myself quite a lot, and I'm already speeding up. And moving out of the area. Okay, so another thing I want to do, it seems that I have overstayed my welcome here between A and B. Too many ships are aware of my presence. I do take a cheeky pot shot at the enemy destroyer, but I'm not planning to hang around, and I'm trying to open up on ships which are contesting the B area. So I open up on the Atlanta, and the incoming fire warning is already giving me some kind of an idea of how many ships are engaging me. I already counted 3. That's the 4th shot. That may be actually at the Atlanta shooting so often, so I'm not entirely sure, but you can use the incoming firebag that way. You can actually count them as they pop up and kind of figure out how many ships are attacking you. But in this case, I think it was just a fast-firing Atlanta. So I'm getting some hits, and the last one was 2,500, this one is 1,700 and plus a fire. And that's all I want. I basically want to set the ships on fire, deal some damage, possibly disable the Atlanta's turrets, but keep moving and just make sure that I'm not an easy target for anyone else in the enemy team. And just keep angling myself. As you can see, I'm moving away. Except for the destroyer ahead of me, I am the closest target to quite a few enemy ships, so it's quite dangerous for me. So I still keep shelling the Atlanta, but he just started moving, and you know, only partially successful. I'm not really getting that much damage dealt. 2,500, 1,000 there, 2,500 there. Fire, which is really good. That's what I was counting on. And it seems that the fire is continuous. The Atlanta must have repaired earlier. And I'm turning back in towards the A cap. It turns out that the C cap is, well, it seems to be secure. We seem to be capping, and there's a cruiser and a destroyer in the area. But there is the Atlanta moving in on B, and I was shelling it to basically just kill it. It was low health anyway. But the destroyer helps me out, and threat is gone. Next target in range is the Congo. And I'm slowing down here. I wanna use the protection of this island just in case the Congo decided to shoot me. And I'm getting some hits on the Congo, and that's the incoming fire again telling me that I'm under fire. So I do get a hit, and I decide to move off a little bit, but I'm slowing down again. And it seems that this position is even safer. I still can lob all of my shells above this island and set the Congo on fire. As you can see, I'm getting some really decent hits, 3,500 in the fire. The Congo is maneuvering, but it's rather predictable, and it's quite an easy target, especially at 10 kilometers for Atlanta to, you know, focus down. Focus down. So I'm poking out from behind this island quite a lot now, and I'm realizing this may be a bit dangerous, but I also see that the Congo scouts are pointed in a completely different direction, so I give myself a moment before I start moving again. I want to launch as many shells in the Congo's direction as possible. And again, you see 6 hits, but only 500 damage. Another 9 hits and completely no damage whatsoever. So, you know, this is the kind of damage that you need to get used to if you're playing Atlanta. Don't expect any fireworkish kind of, you know, results when it comes to single salvos, but the damage over time with fires and, you know, all those little hits, they do add up, and you know, they do make up quite a nice final battle result screen in the end. So again, looking at the team list right now, we have a big disadvantage. The enemy team is winning not only on points but also in terms of numbers of ships. And the only thing that's saving us is that we've got both of the caps in our possession, and the enemy has only got the A cap, and they're moving in on there. So yeah, so that's quite grim, and I've decided to shell the New Mexico for a moment, and I'm getting some hits, but my lead wasn't great. And I look at the map now and I'm trying to figure out what to do next. What I really hope for is that the New Mexico will move in close to that island to my left, and I will be able to maneuver myself, move in to do a sneaky torpedo attack on the battleship, and that would basically put me in a position to either attack the Furutaka or the Nürnberg next, or the York to my left, who I'm very aware of, and I know that he's kind of sneaking up on me from the side, so I will have to keep the position of the York in mind as well. So it looks like the New York is moving in here, so I want to continue on this course. And it's, you know, now I'm committed, now I have to just live with whatever is going to happen. And the New York seems to be slowing down, and I noticed that Furutaka is going to pop up in a second, and I switch to AP quickly. And this is what happens to cruiser captains who forget how deadly an Atlanta can be with AP. Just look at this, one salvo, second, and boom, Furutaka is gone. Next one is Nürnberg, who is not only slowing down but also angling itself quite well. So I only launch one AP volley and straight away switch to HE. He seems to be knowing what he's doing. And my HE salvos do get some damage. There's torpedoes coming in, which I have to be aware of. 4,500 damage in this salvo. But quick look just tells me that I will be able to avoid them quite quickly. So I go back to shelling the enemy cruiser with AP at the end, and I get myself a second kill. Torpedoes are slowly zooming by me, and that's completely fine. I want to continue the stern. I see that the New Mexico is still giving me quite a good opportunity to torpedo him, so again, I want to turn around as quickly as possible. I'm switching my guns to my left side with Control X. I don't expect to use them against the New Mexico, and I want to basically get as close to this island, assuming that the New Mexico is gonna try to go past it as quickly as possible to engage me. And I just want to launch my torpedoes at point blank range towards the New Mexico and hopefully kill it before it kills me. So that's the battleship here, and he's making a huge mistake. He just engaged somebody else. That was the battleship right behind me. So I'm not only free to launch my torpedoes, but also free to leave the area without any damage taken. And that's a devastating strike award and my third kill. Okay, let's continue. So I'm looking at the map now, and there's nobody there, but I vaguely remember that there was a cruiser somewhere in the G3 area. Yeah, there he is. And there was another one, the York, which was a bit more south. So I'm thinking, okay, so what I want to do now, we have a point advantage now, and I do not want to die needlessly, so I want to get to the A cap and possibly start capping it, but I completely forgot about the New York, and the New York is only 6.1 kilometers away, and I'm already preparing to die, but it turns out that New York's aim is worse than crap, and yeah, well, I get saved. So I'm returning fire, and as you can see, I'm getting some really decent results. The New York hasn't sustained any HE damage, as it appears, before I started engaging it, and that's what's giving me this really nice opportunity to get so much damage dealt. So I'm getting some hits in return, and it's completely fine, but knowing how the New York shot before, I don't really worry about the battleship as much anymore, because, well, I'm just expecting him to be a bad shot. So I'm getting some more hits on the New York. I'm sorry, that's Texas, not New York. And I just started a fire, and I'm getting some more hits, still dealing some decent damage, so I want to use this, but I noticed the York has moved in, and I want to consider the York a worse target right now, simply because I just don't know how good the enemy captain is. So I want to set the York on fire, just discourage him from following me, so that I only have one target to worry about. And the Texas is still on fire, so he's still losing health, which is good for me. So I'm free to shell the York and get some damage done. So far no fires, but there's my first one with, again, some direct damage. So I keep shelling him and just moving away. I want to build some distance between us. It seems that the York has repaired, and I instantly switched to engaging the Texas, and that's where Texas actually finally gets a good hit on me and kills me off. So I look at the map now, and we have a huge point advantage. All we need to do is just survive till the timer runs off. And I'm also still observing this Texas here because he's still on fire, and I'm hoping that I will be able to actually send the message that I'm writing in chat right now. I'm hoping that Texas is gonna burn to death. But no, unfortunately this is the moment where the Texas repairs, and unfortunately I don't get to write it. And that's also the moment where our battleship dies, and the only ship alive on our team is the Minikaze, and I'm just writing to the Minikaze asking for him to refrain from firing and basically stay alive until the timer runs off and secure us the kill this way. And from now, literally nothing happens until the timer runs out, so I'm just gonna skip to this, and I'll see you in the post-game stat screen. So guys, 499,000 of profit, just under 7,000 of experience, a double devastating strike as you can see, high caliber and Confederate, 374 hits on target with 4 torpedoes, 3 kills and 12 fires, which we'll see in a second how much damage those fires have actually dealt. Not to mention the 4 Citadel hits I got on the Furutaka. So this all came up to 157,000 of and obviously first place on the team with 2,268 base experience points. And moving on to the detailed report, 27,000 was the fire damage that I managed to get, and 29,000 were the torpedoes. So the conclusion here is that even though the Atlanta seems to be giving really low alpha damage when using HE, or I strongly recommend that you remember that this damage actually adds up quite quickly with the insane rate of fire of this ship. It's really easy to accumulate so much damage. So 100,000 damage in direct shell damage, which is really good. So keep this in mind, and just remember that all you need to do to be successful with the Atlanta is have a very good feeling for the lead that you need to give and be able to hit your targets with first salvo. And it is a premium ship, so I'm just going to let you know what kind of money you can expect when sailing the Atlanta, and that's 420,000 of profit after all the repairs and refits in this game, which is a pretty decent result, I think, as well. So I think that I'm gonna leave this at that, and let you guys draw your own conclusions from this game. If you still have any doubts about whether or not the Atlanta is a viable option to play, if you know how to play it, then I do recommend that you check out the other Atlanta video that I have published 2 weeks ago if you haven't seen it yet. The link to this video should be popping up in the top right corner of the screen right now, and this is the game where I did 155,000 damage in this ship, so check it out and maybe you will learn something from it as well. So for now, I hope that you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please do give it a like down below. It helps the channel out immensely by giving me motivation to come up with new content, and also hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so yet, as I will be coming up with many more of these kind of materials. And for now I say thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the open seas.